The Shogun Warriors. Guy King with rocket boosters. Great Mazinga with rocket launcher.
Look, it's Godzilla!
Is he friend or foe? You can decide.
Wow.
Launch his claw. Imagine his breath is a blast of fire.
Good warning!
The large Shogun Warriors and Godzilla. They're ready to strike when you are. The Shogun Warriors, Great Mazinga, Guy King, and Godzilla, each sold separately. Accessories not for use with smaller Shogun Warriors from Mattel.
ウルトラ怪獣出現発進ウルトラホーク1号ジェットビートル今君の手に
戦いはまだ終わっていない。ゴジラ6制作決定。
Today on Collectible Monsters, we've got your ticket to festivals all around the globe. It's all happening now. Ikimashou!
Why, hello, and welcome to episode 53 of Collectible Monsters. This is going to be a real great show for you guys today, and I'm going to just mention at the top of the episode here, we are down 2 regular members. We've lost Leslie to some Father's Day mishaps, and technically Christine is also unavailable to be with us as well, and we wish both of them a very wonderful Saturday. You know, womp womp. But the womp womp isn't necessarily a bad thing here, because we've got Mr. Jonathan Portman here on this side of the screen here to hang out with us. Our producer is going to be on the show as much as he can be today, unless he's got some womp womps of himself for himself later on. And then even later than that, we're going to be joined by Donny Winter for our collector moment, for a very special tribute to Pride for this month, and that's going to be awesome. We are talking about all of the cool, crazy events, which have been crazy, and the show's going to sort of reflect that. So I don't even have all my files ready to go for this episode. We're going to be winging it. I'm going to be asking these guys to give me a little bit of extra wiggle room on their screen share stuff. But yeah, we're going to be here and hanging out for the next probably 2 hours, because that's how we do it here. But I can't wait to see what everybody has for us this episode. We've got 5 Points Fest that we're going to talk about briefly, which just happened. I just went to a cool gallery exhibit that had nothing to do with toys really, but I might show a couple pictures from that. David and Jonathan went to Monsterpalooza. John went to Kaiju Brooklyn. And I went to something called Kaiju World Festival. So we're going to be covering all of that in our main segment later on after the intermission. But for now, let's actually go ahead and kick things off with our regular early segment of the show, aka Show and Tell. All right, so Show and Tell, where we show off what we've gotten in the past month. And since Jonathan, you're in the sort of Leslie spot right now, what did you get over the past month that you'd like to show off for the episode?
All right, big screen immediately. Okay. Well, hello guys, how's it going? Happy early Father's Day and Father's Day weekend to all the fathers out there in our group and beyond, and in the Godzilla universe, of course. So, and happy Pride Month as well. Cheers to that. So I'm going to start this off with basically something that I'm wearing, okay, for my show and tell, and that is the CAMEGON
Oh yeah.
shirt
awesome. Love it.
from OCTEEL, right? Matthew Macri. Great design. This is the design that he had made for us a little while ago when we decided to put on a shirt.
That's
and
great.
For great, and Kyle had the great idea of making it really nice and big for the shirt. So this is I love this. This is going to be a mainstay for me. I love the red. You can get in pretty much any color, as I understand. Well, there's a few colors out there, so yeah.
No,
You can
yeah,
also get other things
I-
too. There's hoodies, all sort of things.
It's on T Public, so that's sort of like that's sort of the. Here, let me just share that. That is sort of like one of the good things about T Public is you can kind of like pick and choose what you want to do for your color. The default is heather gray, but it does not have to be that way. You have a whole myriad of colors and styles too. You can choose. So feel free to hop on there. There's a show link. That's not what I say. There's a link to the shirt in the show notes. You can see later on where I have also tripped up my words in the commercial during the intermission. But yes, the CAMEGON shirt. Thank you, Jonathan. That's awesome.
It is totally awesome.
I just had to get it as soon as it popped up there. So thank you, Kyle, and OCTEEL for making this happen. Also, something I got very special. Last weekend, Janelle and I, my wife, we went on a hike in Hollywood on Sunday. And it was really nice, and I was feeling nostalgic. And so I decided to go pop over to the mall, a local mall here, to go to the Toy Tokyo store.
Nice.
That we have. And I got one of these, those blind bags they have of like the bag clips and whatnot. Now, I'm normally not into those as much, but I kind of looked on the back of the ones that they were highlighting, and I was like, "Oh, this one I want." And I was like, "Damn it, they're gonna make me get one." So I went up to the cashier, and I was like, she was with me. She was like, "You can open it now." I was like, "Yeah." So lo and behold, the very first thing I opened, thank goodness, because I did not want to spend another $7.99, which I think is very expensive for a bag clip. But I digress. What I got was this very cute Godzilla 84, 1985
That's
poster.
the one you wanted. That's
Little
the one you wanted.
kawaii poster version.
Super
I love it.
That's
Very
awesome.
cute. Look at that little Super
I
X.
do love how
That's
that
great.
thing is like
Look at that little Super
replicating
X.
the poster. That's super cool.
Incredible. I saw it and I was like, I have to have this. I don't, and but I wasn't willing to get that many of them. So I was like hoping that I would get it first try.
Awesome.
Someone was watching down. Godzilla was watching down on me. The very last thing I got, and it was most recently, was obviously this thing. I was waiting for that. I think a lot of people were waiting for this to come out for a very long time after it was announced on pre-order. We have.
You got
nice
it.
one.
Yay.
Vinyl from Waxwork.
That's awesome.
Waxwork. I've always loved what they've done. Look at that.
Nice. It's beautiful.
Wow.
Incredible.
Yeah, that's a great style.
Epic in scale.
Yeah.
And the vinyls too look great. I will repost in the group. I don't want to take up too many other people's time, but I will basically repost what I posted there with the color vinyl. It's really nice, really
Beautiful.
cool. One of the most interesting things about this that I liked that I don't see with a lot of vinyls, and it might be because of the composer, or I don't know, but just because of the release, probably because it was an Oscar winner. So we have this page here. It shows all of the instrumentalists.
Oh, very cool.
And what their instruments,
right
what they
cool.
played. It's just the entire orchestra right here on this page.
Yeah.
I freaking love that. And my favorite has to be, because I'm a band nerd and I played band in high school. I played trombone. Got a couple, you got a low trombone, and you got a couple of low brass members in here. Maybe that's why I got into trombone, because of that. Dun, 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 dun. Anything in Fukabe goes with monsters is always low brass. I just love it. And that is in sense that's my show and tell. So awesome. I'll kick it off down to David. I'm pretty sure, David, you're next, right?
I think so. I think I'm next.
We'll go with
thanks everybody for joining us today on this Saturday afternoon. And June is, as we all know, is Pride Month. So happy Pride to everybody who celebrates. And I think everybody should celebrate. But anyway, happy Pride Month. And it's 114 degrees today here in the Coachella Valley.
Ooh.
My ass is staying in for the rest of the day. But it's nice and cool in here. One of the first things we did was to put an air conditioner in this garage because I could see my collections like melting. Oh,
could you imagine?
And that would be the biggest nightmare. So, but anyway, we're nice and cool in here. Everything's great. And so as you know, Kyle mentioned, Jonathan, my husband Keith, and I went to Monsterpalooza, not last weekend, but the weekend before, and we had a blast. It was great. It's a great convention. We'll talk more about that later. But the items that I have are from there. So the first thing I got was something. Well, let me just start by saying I really wanted to go to say hello to Yuji and Michi Nishimura at the M1 table. Had no intention of buying anything. I kind of saw people were posting, you know, images of their table. Like, I don't really need anything from the table, but you know how it is. You guys know how it is. So after we got the hugs out of the way, I saw that they had this guy, the glowy M1 maquette, which is probably one of my top 3 M1 Godzilla sculpts that they've ever done, and it's just stunning. And the glow, it glows like a beast. The green color is just so vibrant. You can probably even see it on the video.
Yeah, it's radiating.
It really, your eye goes right to it on the shelf, and it's really great. So I was very happy to grab one of these. I just couldn't pass it up. And I don't have it in front of me, but Keith also is a collector of sorts. He likes certain things. And he got one of M1's signature trikes, and he got Busca.
Awesome.
Super cute.
Great
I think there's an image in one of the pictures that you'll see later when we talk about Monsterpalooza.
Yes,
but
indeed.
he loves the trikes, and he got the Busca trike. So I was definitely, you know, all for that. And then the last thing I'm going to show you, actually, the last thing I'm going to show, we're going to stick to 3. I'm not going to be that guy. The last thing was sort of a surprise gift from Yuji and Wakasa-san, and it is this. It is a signed copy.
Oh, nice!
Of the DNA exhibit, and it's just an amazing thing. And you know, there's a photo of me receiving this, and I did not expect this. It's wonderful. I mean, Jonathan, Keith, and I ran into Wakasa-san just kind of strolling around, and I'm like, oh, hey, you know, konnichiwa. and it was just, that's the kind of awesomeness that you see at Monsterpalooza, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But just real quick, one more thing. It's just real fast. I'll do it really fast. I got this from X Plus. G Akamoto sent this to me.
Nice.
It's another one of their new styrene model kits, and G knows that I absolutely love the old Aurora snap together dinosaur kits.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
And he remembered that, and he sent this out to me, so I really appreciate that, and it's great.
Sweet.
Very
And
cool.
I really have to bone up on my styrene model building skills, because I really haven't done it since I was a kid, and I'm afraid that because it's a whole different ball of wax from resin and soft vinyl. It's a very different thing. Yeah. And I'm getting pointers from the master Steve Sergioli, because he actually just built the Revenge of the Creature. But I think I'm going to start with an old one that I've had for years, not an X Plus, just so I can practice on it, just to see if I can do it justice. But I am actually can't do that yet, because I got to work on Jonathan Portman's. You can kind of see it right behind me. His KOC 64.
Oh, you got that.
Looks so good already.
This will be my 5th one I've done so far. Wow. And I've got 2 more to do after this, and then I think I'm going to retire from the KOC kits, because it's I mean, of course I mentioned it in passing that I'm kind of not going to do model kits anymore, and then I posted this. And Robert Dwyer, if Robert's watching, he's like, I thought you said you're retired, and I go, well, semi-retired. So
you're like the Daniel Day-Lewis of sculpting.
Just when I thought I was out, they keep pulling me back in, you know, whatever. But anyway, that's all I got, and I'm going to pass it over to my good friend John Ruffin in Philadelphia, and let's just see what he's got. And I'm sure he's got to probably narrow many things down to 3, but let's see what he's got. Take it away, John.
Hey. It's good to be on the show. Good to be here with you guys. And we're thinking about you, Christine, and miss you, Leslie. It's good to see. It's good to be here. It's hot. Maybe not as hot here as it is there, David.
Yeah.
You know? Thankfully. Oh, with that said, I'm on a hiatus. I have very little. I'm on a major hiatus.
I don't believe that.
I don't
no,
believe
I
it
have
either.
to be. I have to be. I have to
believe
be.
it.
Where's
I believe
Leslie
it. I
when
know
we need
why.
him?
I
Where's
did
Leslie
get-
when we need him?
I've got some things that I got a couple months ago that I can share, but something cool. My nephew's movie Inside Out 2 came out this weekend.
Oh,
So-
cool.
Oh,
Let's
awesome.
see
Oh,
that.
there he is, right on schedule.
See, what you gonna do? Can't even get away from them. I got a couple things I'll share. They're real simple. It's just I'm not buying much at the moment because I'm going to see Kyle in another month or so. So everything that comes in has got to stay in.
Big FOMO. Big
But there were a couple things I had to get, real simple things. And David, you're not going to like this one.
Oh no.
But as soon as I saw it, I was like, yeah, it's just too cool. You're going to kill me, but okay, everybody's going to kill me. But Leslie will like it. I had to get the old.
Oh no, you better don't.
Is that the mask?
Yes, thank you. John Ruffin.
I know that. This is kind of cool. I had to take the battery out because it kept roaring, so I had to do an emergency surgery.
You can take the whole thing out.
And the other thing I got when I saw it, I had to have it. Pretty cool. I had to get another lunchbox, the Ultraman lunchbox.
That's awesome.
Oh,
now that I like.
It's fantastic. The reds and the gradients are so rich. It's like candy.
Is that pushing out? Is it like
Yes,
like
it's
Okay.
embossed or however you want to
yeah?
relief. Yes.
Okay.
Always.
John,
Looks so
how
cool.
stoked would you and I have been as kids to carry that to school with us?
Oh yeah.
I would
Yeah.
have lost
Absolutely.
my collective mind. I would have bought two
Yes.
lunches.
And there would have been fights over it. I'm
Yes,
pretty
there
sure
would have.
someone would have tried to steal it. And the I can't take it out at the moment, but the thermos is just as awesome. This is really beautiful. And for the price, I highly recommend it. It's just beautiful. The red is like candy, and the photos it's so vintage in its own way. The other thing I got, I'll wait until we talk about. I get to talk about Kaiju Brooklyn. But other than that, that's all. What's Leslie saying?
Oh no! Of all the shows to miss, I had to miss this one. Now he can never say anything bad about the Monsterverse. Otherwise, he'll be a major hypocrite. I love it. I'm going to exploit that blank.
Get out here, Leslie.
Trolling from afar.
Okay.
Going from afar.
Yeah, that's it for me. It's just good to be here with you all. It's more to be said.
Ditto.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what damage you do, Kyle? How you doing? There in the land we all wish.
Oh man, tell you what, it is actually quite difficult to rein in my spending. I actually need to put myself on a little bit of a hiatus for a couple of different reasons anyway. But every time I turn around, something rad is coming out, and
Tell me about
so the three things. I'll start with one of those items that I wasn't expecting it to get released, and it just sort of like showed up in my pre-order field of view, I guess I would say, and I was like, I gotta have this. David, you know one of my favorite Godzilla movies, and I think everybody knows that one of my top Godzilla films is Godzilla versus Monster Zero, or Invasion of Astro Monster.
I know.
And Spiral just put out this beautiful
Oh,
yes. That's right.
65 Godzilla, which in my opinion isn't represented enough in my collection, even though I have several pieces. And the sculpt was done by a guy, I think his name is Kevin, but he goes by Slugbat. And I've been seeing this sculpt for several years now, just sort of waiting and waiting. When is it going to get released? When is it going to get released? Well, happy to have it myself. And
Outstanding.
if I can grab this here. Yeah, I want to specifically shout out not just the figure, but also the header card, which has gorgeous Mr. Bob
that's
Eggleton.
beautiful.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that
love
logo
this
on there.
piece.
Spiral
One of the
toy.
best
That
header
logo
cards I've
is
ever
amazing,
seen,
right?
That's
John
beautiful.
Ruffin, Mr. Logo Designer for Spiral Toy. So that's my first piece I'm showing off, the 65 Godzilla from Spiral. And I know they have more planned for the future, and we'll see if I pick up any of those too, because sometimes I just can't help myself. Speaking of that, one thing another of my favorite Godzilla movies is GMK, Godzilla Mothra King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters All Out Attack. And our good friends CCP, actually I wish they were our good friends because I would love to just have them send these to me. They should God, Leslie. I thought this was a family show, Leslie.
He's blowing it up.
We at Wonder Festival earlier this year, I saw the GMK mid-size sculpts, and they finally released them.
Oh, dude.
So I got both the standard sort of colorway, just like the movie, where he's like it's black vinyl.
What a great size!
Just
sweet.
Yeah, I love these sizes. They're like so easy to just get a bunch of them. And then here's this beautiful sort of
I love it.
Clear blue version.
Yeah.
And I just the both of them together are just stunning. Yeah. And you know, I have a whole bunch of these right over my shoulder here. Hard to point to on screen, but I have a bunch of M1 GMK figures, and these are going to basically live in front of them because they're smaller.
Oh, that's going to look great. That's going to play great.
They've already announced 2 more colorways of this, so I'm going to pre-order those as well. And I'm sure I'm just going to keep that train rolling because, you know, I can't stop myself when it comes to that Godzilla design.
Hey, Kyle, did you see that the Big Bad Toy Store has a pre-order for a different color spray than you have?
Yeah, it's probably the 2 that they have on pre-order right now.
It's really nice, and it's accessible to everybody, which is another thing that we like about these toys. Right. The size and the accessibility and the price point is pretty fair. So it's not like you're going to have to jump through hoops and do a lot of red tape. So check these out if you haven't seen them.
There's 2 more here. Hopefully I'm not showing anything. Yeah, I think I'm good. This is the sort of like heat ray version. Like
that's the one
Tokyo.
they have, I think. Yeah.
And then this one here is like a clear orange, and they're already in my cart on Yahoo Shopping.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
I'm like I said, I'll be getting pretty much every one of these. They're fantastic.
They're great.
Now I don't need to show off too much more, but this ties in with like kind of what David did, where I went to an event called Kaiju World Festival. And I got to meet. It also ties in with my news item too, but I digress. I got to meet a whole bunch of people at Kaiju World Festival, and that includes the guy who runs Acro. As you guys know, I think you know, and if you're new to the show or new to this information, they do a Kaiju remix series that it's not, I'll be honest, some of the items little hit or miss, I'm not a fan of all of them, but some of my favorite pieces from that series are like keystone moments of my collection. The Gyango, I just spoiled my news item, but the Bemular is amazing, done by Paul Komoda. I have the Gamora, which I also really like as well because it reminds me of the sculpt is great, but it also reminds me a little bit of the artist who did all the kaiju designs for the first Ultraman series and a lot of Ultra Q stuff. Whose name I'm forgetting at the I could like literally look over here.
It's on the tip of my tongue.
Toll Narita. Literally my book at my fingertips right here. Anyway, so anyway, that one, and then I also have Dorako, who was designed by Yasushi Nishikawa, I think. Oh my gosh. My brain is all jumbled today. But I went to Kaiju World Festival thinking I was going to go there and get an item at the Acro table. But as you'll see during my event section, that was a model kit show, and I'm not. I can buy model kits and I can put model kits together, but I don't have any paints. I don't have any supplies at all. So what I really wanted is this as a pre-painted kit, which they do offer it as pre-painted figure, I guess I would say. And so I picked up the Fire Lizard.
Yes.
Wow.
Which was
you picked that up. I didn't know you picked it up. I thought you just took a picture of it.
Oh, goodness.
No, I bought this thing.
Oh, shoot.
I bought this.
We saw that in person
actually,
at
what I ended up
Monsterpalooza.
doing is I bought this at. I was going to buy it at Kaiju World Festival, but they didn't have this. They had the unpainted kits.
The model kit.
And so
Wow.
he was like, "Oh, buy it online," you know. And so I just went to their Yahoo store, and this is a little bit of a humble brag here.
Wow.
Here in Japan, shipping within the country is pretty cheap, and really fast too. Because I ordered this. Like I think I bought this on Monday after the show, because the show was a Sunday. I bought this on Monday, and the box showed up at my doorstep Tuesday morning.
Whoa.
This thing is amazing. So I'm just showing you the front, but let me do a full turn of this bad boy, because
David, we saw that Monsterpalooza.
Wow. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Not only
they've got. Yeah, go ahead.
Not only did we see that at Monsterpalooza, Kyle, Keith, and I had a conversation with, his name is Kaz, the person who was in charge of the booth
at Acro, yeah,
and at Acro, and we had a discussion about it, all the influences we saw in this monster, and Keith especially was really enamored by this piece, and then I was like, oh yeah, you also took a picture of it too, and it's like, no, you didn't take a picture, you bought it. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and this is a series called Kaiju Doom that they're doing, and Paul Komoda, who did the Bemular sculpt for them, also worked on this. I think technically he designed it, and then someone else sculpted it. But maybe I'll get Paul on at another point in time, and we can talk a little bit about a little more about it. There's this one, and then there's another one that looks kind of like similarly crazy kaiju design, but of a Cyclops, like a Harryhausen style Cyclops. And then they have two brand new ones that they just unveiled at Monsterpalooza, which are a flying monster and then a hero monster as well. So it's a really crazy series.
That's beautiful. I'm glad you got one.
I'm not gonna probably collect the whole thing. They're very large. I mean, this is a beefy boy. Huge. So I'm really happy to have this in my collection, because I remember seeing pictures of this for months and months and months and being like, I need to get one of those. So finally, I got one. So
that's great.
Those are my three Showa Intel items. I'm super happy to have them. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in. We got 28 people watching live. Thanks, and I think what we're going to do right now, Jonathan, is we're going to do the chat room check-in.
Yes, we are. And I'm ready. So hello, everybody. It's a little different here since we don't have Leslie. Usually he's the one who does this wonderful segment. And for the sake of my sanity, I will be doing it, as I will also be able to follow along with myself. So here we go. Fancies of Cast, Johnny Cock, Leslie P. Chambers. Leslie, we know you're in here.
We know Leslie's in
there. We have Michael Heng, Nathaniel Plummer, Kaiju Battle, Oscar Solis, Frank, Helmy.
Keith.
All right.
Hey.
Calvin Wan.
What's up, Calvin?
And let's see, who else do we have here? Robert Kennedy.
Hi, everyone.
Thank you.
And we have Jim Galla.
What's up, Jim?
And Tim Bardos.
Got some new faces, I think.
Mark Rodriguez, we do. Mark Rodriguez. Awesome. Welcome, Mark.
Larry.
And Bill's Carnage.
Awesome.
What's up, Bill?
I see Attack Peter in there, too. What's up, Peter
Bill?
Santa Maria?
Awesome. Yeah.
Attack Peter. Yeah, down. Awesome. Yep. Attack Peter. Chris Hill.
What's
Matthew
up, Chris?
Buzel.
Larry Latham.
Courtney. Robert.
Oh, there's Robert.
Larry Latham. And that's it.
That's
Thank
awesome.
you for all 30
Thank
that are
everybody.
inside here and enjoying this time with us. Thank you. We appreciate
That's great.
Yes. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching. We're very happy to have you here with us. Do a little presto changeo, rearrangeo with everybody. And yeah, we have lots of cool stuff to show off this time. Like I said, we're going to be talking about some awesome events, some of which were just teased during our show at Intel. I know some of it's going to be teased during the news section too. But I think this is a good point for us to just jump right into our news segment. Okay, so Mr. Portman, while I prepare your images here, why don't you go ahead and talk a little bit about what you're going to be talking about?
Oh, with pleasure. So, this item, okay, had a release years ago. And I want to say it's like 2014, 2015, maybe. I forget exactly the year, but it was a while ago. It was definitely plus 5 years ago. And I was like, oh, this is really cool. I kind of want to get this because at the time I had gotten into this other property as well. And this mashup was beautiful to me. It was absolutely stunning. I did not jump on it. And then months later, when I saw the aftermarket prices, oh boy, I was thinking to myself. I was like, why did I do this to myself? I could have bought this at retail, and now it's like aftermarket was through the roof. And understandably so. This thing is epic. It's amazing. And this is actually a reissue of that, but it's a different colorway. It's got some different things along with it. It's different. It's a whole different presentation. So that's what we're about to show off here. I'm very excited. And I don't have a lot of X Plus, but this one I for sure would absolutely have. So we have
wow,
the Godzilla X Evangelion crossover piece, the Eva Unit 1 Burning G Awakening form. It's similar to the previous version, of course. This figure sports a burning fist and a halo, both clear vinyl. It stands 40 centimeters tall, 35 centimeters wide, and 57 centimeters deep. And it retails for 38,500 yen, or roughly $244.55 US. It can be pre-ordered through Bandai X Plus, the Evangelion store, and the Godzilla store, with a release schedule for September 2024. I almost said 2014. Well, I don't know why I said that. The X Plus US store, Godzilla store, and the Evangelion store will ship to the US. And this, of course, all comes courtesy of kaijubattle.net. So please check them out because they always provide amazing, great news, and we love partnering.
Sure
so there you have it. That's what I kind of want to get. Again, if I wait for this thing to go past market, it's going to be another one where it's going to be too unattainable. So I've been highly considering.
I got to see the prototype for this at Wonder Festival in February, and wow, I'm not into Evangelion. I watched it, and it's a great series, but definitely, especially don't need to jump into that realm of collecting. And I was very, very impressed with this piece. Its size is huge, and I will echo what you're saying, Jonathan. Anytime something comes out with this Godzilla Evangelion crossover, it's a good idea to get it when it comes out because the aftermarket prices on these are crazy. Gretchen, my old co-host on the Kaijucast, she found out about it after the fact, but they did this Rei and Namikawa, like Planet X girl, and she's like, oh, I really want to get that. And by the time she looked, I think it was like triple the price of the original retail. And then that was like every time she looked after that, it kept jumping up and jumping up. So I would echo the sentiments that if you want to get this, you should definitely pick it up when it gets released. Because that's a gorgeous piece, totally beautiful piece.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Thank you very much. David.
Okay, so my news item is something that I really have to resist getting. Okay, it's something that I've wanted for a long time, and we all, Kyle and I specifically have had conversations about how we got into the Godzilla films and everything, and one of the gateways was Ray Harryhausen movies, and X Plus and Star Ace is going to bring us Ray Harryhausen's fabulous mythological creature, the Hydra, as seen in the epic film Jason and the Argonauts, which is what Keith and I just watched yesterday. We watched it yesterday in honor of this news item. So it's just beautiful. It looks just like the model that he used, and the detail is incredible. The figure stands at 30 centimeters tall. It's going to be made of a soft vinyl, which is actually pliable. So the necks and the heads will actually be posable. So those of us who are lucky enough to get this can recreate their own stop motion scenes if so inclined. Crazy. I mean, it's just something, again, like that lunchbox, John. This is a little bit more than the lunchbox, but if I would have had this available to me when I was a little kid, I would have lost my mind. I'm losing my mind now as an adult, so whatever. But as you can see from these images, the details is just stunning, and
incredible.
It's going to be released in the fourth quarter of 2024. That's with all the information that I have, and the standard will just be the Hydra itself, and it will retail for $498.99, and the deluxe version will come. It's not it's bad
with the yen dollar relationship.
Yeah, but this is US. This is Star Ace Plus. So I'm not sure where it's going to be shipping from, but the deluxe version will include, as you can see in the photos, a poly resin Jason figure. And how cool is that? You know, and awesome. It will retail for the low price of $548.99. So again, you know, this relationship between X Plus, Star Ace, and Harryhausen Creations is just incredibly tempting for those of us who grew up with these films. And I really have to pick and choose, but I think this one I may have to do a 1 in, 1 out and get myself this one, because I can just sit there for hours posing the heads. And I think
he said it.
Yeah, I did say it. Yeah. The Hydra. What did we say? Yeah, David's gonna get it. Oh yeah. Why do you think I made him watch the movie yesterday with me? You know, whatever. But
gotta wet the appetite.
No.
Set the stage.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah. Keith grew up on these films too, and he loves that film as well. So
the fact they're posable is unreal.
I mean,
that's
I didn't even know
Godzilla like that.
I didn't even know.
Dude, absolutely.
So far, yeah. Can you imagine a Godzilla like that, or King Ghidorah with the heads that move?
Yeah. Oh gosh, please.
Oh my god.
Please.
Someone needs to do that.
I have to be really choosy with the Harryhausen. So far, I've got the Rhedosaurus, which was just the Beast's anniversary last week. And we should all give a shout out to the Beast, who's the sort of the inspiration that the Japanese filmmakers had for Godzilla.
Yeah.
And I have that. And what else do I have? I can't even look now. Oh, I've got the Allosaurus from 1 million years BC. I really resisted getting the Centaur from the Golden Voyage of Sinbad, and they have the Kali with the multiple arms and the swords. Like, oh my god, so much cool stuff. But the Hydra, this one is really going to be tough to resist. So, yeah, that's all I got. John, what are you going to show us for your news item?
Oh, so I have a couple items, but they're not well. One is an event, and it's in my I like to think of as my old hometown for almost a year, Nagoya. They're going to do there what they did in Shinjuku at the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building. They're going to project Godzilla on the tower, on the Nagoya TV tower.
Oh, wow.
Whoa.
Which would be pretty cool. And it's going to be, I won't be able to get to it, but I think it's going to be on the 20th of June. I'm not sure. It's either June or July. So that's going to be, that was awesome when I saw that. So that's pretty cool. That would be a great thing to see. And they have some other nights.
Actually, real quick, you want to talk a little bit about what that means? Because we didn't talk about the Shinjuku light show at all, but it's actually something I haven't seen yet. I'm like looking forward to checking it out in person. Maybe when you're here, I don't know. But
yeah, we got to do this. So it's this huge, and I'm hoping, it should have been going around social media, but this incredible projection of on the government on the two towers. You have Godzilla and the Super X. Is a whole kind of show, and I think it goes on for about 11 minutes. I downloaded and saved a video clip of the whole thing. It's pretty awesome, and it's very vivid, and I guess going to do the same thing here. But there's a little controversy I heard about that it costs a lot of money for them to do it, and I think some people are a little maybe upset or concerned about the cost. The budget was pretty amazing. I was like, I'd do another Godzilla movie for that budget. But I don't know how they did it, but it was pretty amazing. I'm pretty sure you can see it on YouTube. Just putting Godzilla.
The Shinjuku one, here in Tokyo, in Shinjuku, there's the Tokyo Tax Towers, right, which is what gets destroyed in Godzilla versus King Ghidorah at the end. And so basically, I think it's the world's largest projection mapping presentation they put up there, and it's not. They do more than just this Godzilla show, but they basically arranged for the 70th anniversary for there to be a Godzilla centric show where Godzilla like blasts through the building. And this is the
amazing.
Shinjuku one, which I'm hoping to see really soon, actually. So what John's talking about is they're going to do something very, very similar. It's -1 themed in Nagoya, and that's should be really awesome. And Helmy's in the Helmy's in the chat right now. He already like told me he's going to be trying to go to this later on when they do have it up. So
awesome!
Seeing his coverage as well.
So wait a minute,
sorry,
John.
I'll let you get back. Yeah.
John, I got to ask you, and maybe you guys can answer too. Is that the same tower that the 64 Godzilla got his tail stuck in?
Yes,
okay,
absolutely.
Well, how cool is that right there?
Exactly.
All right.
Maybe I'll get his tail stuck in it again.
Yeah, man. It'll be interesting because it's not much of a it's not pretty.
No, it's not gigantic. It's normal size tower. It's not like.
So how the projection works, that'll be interesting. But I used to go past this every Saturday for like 18 weeks. I would just take walks from my apartment and just kind of do the Godzilla march through Nagoya. But it's a beautiful location, so it should be quite entertaining too. They do a lot of stuff in that location, public stuff.
So,
and one more thing that's really interesting. I saw it. Was it yesterday? And this is something you can get, but you can only apparently get it in one location. And this is a stamp set, a Godzilla 70th anniversary versus Okinawa King Shisha frame stamp set.
Okay, that's cool as hell.
But you can only get it in Okinawa. So I decided, hey, let's go to Okinawa. So half of my trip, I'm going down there to see Mecha Godzilla.
Are you really?
I'm serious, and I'm going to get my stamp set. But yes, I decided half of my trip is going to be in Okinawa. So it's going to be probably just as hot there as it is where you are, David. But I'm going to get that set.
You're going to have the humidity attached to it too. And,
yeah, I think so. All right off the island there. It'll be crazy.
So John, when you're down there, I'll hook this up for you. You got to hang out with Ron Nix. He's got a beautiful dojo / toy museum in Okinawa, and I'm sure he will be one to take you to places where you probably need to go. So let's make that happen if you're not acquainted with him.
Thanks for saying that. Yes, I forgot about Ron. Because as soon I'm going for 2 nights, and I'm staying at the hotel.
No, you're not.
At the Naha.
You know what? I'm just going to tattoo a FOMO across my head because this whole summer, from the summer until November, there's going to be FOMO stamped on there, and it's like you guys are killing me, man.
I got to fly from Tokyo from Haneda to Okinawa was only like $250.
Oh, you're flying from Haneda too, you bougie man.
Yeah, and the hotel where our heroine and hero stayed when they got off of the Queen Coral is staying at that same hotel. It's been renovated. It was only like $30 a night. So it was right near the airport, near the Naha airport. So as soon as I get off, I'm going to rocket up to the castle ruins so I can see Prince Nami do her thing.
Gotta find Nami.
Exactly.
You gotta
be a journey though. It's hard.
You gotta recreate it for us. You gotta recreate the whole thing.
You know what? I would be so upset if you said you're taking that same cruise line too.
I was trying to get the sunflower, but
that would have been amazing.
That's how it is too difficult to coordinate that.
I'm sure it would take a lot longer to get down there on the boat too.
True, but
they used to do
maximize his time in Japan.
Yeah, because I was going to try to do it at night, do it just one day, fly in, and then leave the next day. But it was like that's impossible to see the sights, to go to the beach, and all those things. It's crazy. But cool. Wish me well, because that's going to be
that's an adventure. That is going to be
an adventure. Yeah. But thanks about Ron. So if anybody wants some stamps, let me know. I'll get you some. Oh, can I mention one last thing? I'm doing a little contest, by the way, on my website, and it's just I'm going to a
Kaiju.com?
Yes. I'm going to a secret location, a Godzilla location in Tokyo. If you can guess it, I'll bring you back some nice stuff from Godzilla -1 from the Godzilla store.
Do we have any kind of clue, or is just
No, I will not give out a clue. If you can figure it out, it's in Tokyo, and it's a Showa movie, but I'll leave it at that. And
okay, all right. I'm going to rack my brains and think like John Ruffin here first.
Oh, I got it all mapped out. I know right where I've been wanting to go for a little while, and I'm going.
So it's not a Shin.
There you go.
It's not a Shin. It's not a Shin
No.
location. It's
There's
Showa.
only one Shin location I haven't gotten to. I've been to about 19 of them. There's one I still want to get to. I might go, but this is Showa. This is Showa.
Okay. All right. You know, it's funny. It's funny when you travel in Japan and you just go to Godzilla locations without even realizing you're at a Godzilla location. It's like, wait a minute, wait, what? I mean, the biggest one, if I may, real quick, the first time that Keith and I went to Japan in 2006, we were staying in Hakone, and we took a boat cruise on Lake Ashinoko or Ashinoko, and you know, I was like, this is wonderful, it's beautiful. Went to the little village, had lunch, came back, and I'm like, didn't get home. I got home and then was looking at my pictures, and I'm like, wait a minute, where's this? Why does this sound significant to me? I'm like, wait a minute, that's where Biorante was, the lake, right in that lake, right there. Wow. And my dumbass didn't even realize it. I'm like, whoa. And then of course, you know, the several times we were in Kamakura, you know, the shopping areas where the tail goes right over the.
Exactly, you walk right down that street.
You know, so anyway, sorry, I had to just point that out. Like my dumbass was in locations that didn't even realize was happening. So.
Yeah, you go to Shinjuku, and there's so many iconic locations that you just spin around, and you just went through 3 movies just by turning your head a few times.
To Wonder Festival, Makuhari.
It
was where Mechagodzilla, Rodan, and Godzilla battle in the Heisei movie.
Yes. We gotta get a picture at the stadium.
One more.
Yes.
We already have a guess.
Kyle and Keith and I were in Ueno Park. And we're walking around, and there's a statue of a Japanese dude in a kimono with a Shiba Inu, and there's a big giant ginkgo tree next to it, and then I didn't know anything about it, and then I'm like watching Ghidorah the three-headed monster. I'm like, wait a minute, that's where the prophetess is standing, and she's pointing
exactly.
The tree is a hell of a lot smaller, but we're like right there, and that park is huge. And to be in that spot, the fact that we had lunch at the place where you enter the park, where that statue is, I'll post it in the group today or tomorrow. There's another example. It's like, wait a minute, you know, you're pointing up to space, you know. But anyway,
exactly.
it's just crazy. It's just crazy.
That's fantastic. You gotta love it, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So if you can figure it out, this one is a hard one. This is not easy, but if you can, I'll bring you some nice goodies.
Can there be multiple winners?
No, the first person.
Hey, John.
Just checking the parameters of it, you know.
John, we already have a couple guesses.
I saw. No, not Tokyo Tower. It's too obvious.
Not Tokyo Tower.
No.
Okay.
Boy, you will not get this one. And if I can live stream it, you will fall out and laugh. But this is.
You should live stream it.
Yeah, I'm gonna try.
To be clear, you said Showa era. It doesn't have to be Godzilla.
You should live stream it.
It is Godzilla Showa era.
Oh, it is Godzilla.
It definitely is.
It is a Godzilla.
It's a Godzilla movie, and you're gonna crack up. I'll just say you won't. This is not obvious. You got to be good. You got to be really good.
It's probably something so obscure. Like
I've never been there before.
It's probably the crossing bridge where Ichiro is in Godzilla's Revenge and goes.
That's a good
official guess. That's
a good.
We need a soundboard of that. We need a soundboard of that.
Oh, you need a soundboard of that. That would be great.
Exactly.
Okay, now we're going to be thinking about this for the rest of the episode. Now, you know,
gotta work on it.
All right.
All right. Well, let me get to my news item here, and this won't take very long because there's just not a lot of information about it. But essentially, at Kaiju World Festival, when I met Acro, CAD, I was stoked to see that he has 3 new pieces coming for the Kaiju, or 2 new pieces coming for the Kaiju Remix series. And the one I'm focusing on is their Gango, which literally as soon as I walked out of that show, I messaged Peter Santamaria. And I was like, dude, you got to know about this, because this was originally released, I think the Wonder Festival that I went to with the collector trip in 2023, Sagata Kick put this out as like a $300 resin kit. Wow. And it is absolutely gorgeously designed. Stunning. Here's a picture from Monsterpalooza.
That's Monsterpalooza.
But yeah, I definitely am looking forward to this. I don't know. I can't remember when he said it's going to get released. I think it's gonna, like either late this year or early next year. But I'm absolutely going to be picking this up. I need to make a little bit of room in the shelf that has my Kaiju Remix stuff. But yeah, way to go, Acro, because I absolutely adore that line, and I can't wait to actually get this one. And the other Kaiju that they've announced for Kaiju Remix, you can sort of see him there on the right-hand side of the image, is Wyndham, one of the Ultra capsule monsters from Ultra 7.
Yep.
Anyway, super cool.
What a coincidence, Kyle. We saw kind of the same stuff. And
it was awesome because they were there, and then I was like, oh, you're going to Monsterpalooza. So I remember as I was talking with Peter, he was like, we're going to be there. And I'm like, I really hope that they bring all that stuff with them, which I figured they would. And so I knew he got to see it at Monsterpalooza as well, too.
You know what I love about that is when we saw him, we were doing like the little vignettes and stuff at Monsterpalooza, and we were talking to Cad, and I was looking at the capsule monsters. I was looking at the Wyndham, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. I was like, I love 7. And he was like, 7's my favorite. I was like, mine too. It's like, yes, somebody that loves 7. Aside from people I know.
And another positive about this Acro Gyango is he doesn't have a tail, so his footprint is a lot smaller. You can stick him in between things.
Yeah,
he don't need no tail space.
Those tails, man, the tails. That's the one thing that's the one drawback is that the tails. Yeah. They're often so wide.
It's all
so you kind of have to place. You have to do a little, Tetris maneuvering with everything.
Yes.
And we've almost had some unfortunate incidents with the tails getting, trying to pull one out, and especially the resin pieces. But
anyhow. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Bill said he'd never even heard of Gango until he saw that kit. Really? And I know he bought that kit at Wonder Festival. So.
Oh, that's right. He did. He bought that kit. Yeah. And I remember, and another little tidbit about that kit that maybe you guys know or you don't know. There was when Guillermo del Toro picked up this kit in Japan, he did a tutorial or a how-to, and he did a live painting of this, assembling and painting of this kit. So that's pretty cool. And I kind of agree with Kyle at this point. Even though I do have the equipment, I kind of want to get one that's already done for me. But because typically their paint jobs are pretty spot on, and they're really, really great. So and it will be less money than the kit too. So typically, but we're all stoked for that one.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Very much so. All right, so we are going to kick it off into intermission. But if you're watching live during the intermission, feel free to head over to this link I'm posting in the comments right now. And this is the link to the OCTEEL shirt. Just open it in a new tab, because we're going to be coming right back with our coverage of your festival tickets of everything. So
go get you one.
See you in a couple of minutes. Today on Collect All Monsters.
Hey, is that a new shirt?
It is a new shirt, Lady Kyle, designed by our favorite friend and fan of the show, not to mention the toy maker himself, OCTEEL. You can get this CAMEGON shirt at TeePublic, and you can find a link to this shirt in the show notes right now.
一体司令官はどこにいるんだ。楽々ゴジラジャック。
司令官。
君入るときにはノックしたまえ。今 NEC のライフルック HG で楽々ゴジラチェア当たります。
NEC。
大切なものに
どうした？かいだな。トライする気持ちを忘れてないか。新豆引き立てで新登場。トライニューワンダ。
あの怪獣は今
スターと呼ばれた青春だった。 力の限りの青春だった。時は過ぎゆく、時代は変わる。それでも僕らは生きてゆく。広い社会の片隅でつつましやかに生きてゆく。さあ送ってください、君の傑作写真を。バンダイウルトラ怪獣大変身コンテスト。
本物の質感、本物の迫力、そして躍動する筋肉。これは映画ではない、目の前の現実だ。映画を超えた迫力、リアルアクション、ゴジラ対デストロイヤー。
Right. Well, we are back, and we're here to talk about the events, guys. We're here to talk about all the cool, crazy events that have happened. And if you are unaware, the last time we met for this, for one of our standard episodes, I was literally just coming back from another kaiju event. And then the day we did the show, the last episode, I didn't go to it, but Design Festa happened here in Japan. And then the following week, on Sunday, there's another event called Kaiju World Festival. Now, just out of curiosity, had any of my, this, no shame if you haven't, but have you guys heard of Kaiju World Festival before? Yeah.
No, I can't say that I have.
John
There's so
says
many.
yes.
No.
There's so many, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It is heavily advertised on Twitter and pretty much nowhere else. I like searching like Instagram and Facebook.
Explains it. Yep, there it is.
It's just very, very, very difficult to sort of like. It's first up, it's difficult to like catalog all of these events that happen because I've been to like so many things since I've moved here, and it just doesn't stop. So, Kaiju World Festival is actually was their 8th volume of this festival. So ever since I think 2015, they've been doing one every year, with the exception of some pandemic years where they weren't able to do a show. But they came back last year, I think, with 7, or the one before that with 6. So now this is volume 8, and I have a very messy gallery here to show you. Thank you so much, Peter. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see here. What are we going to start with? Let me zip up to the top here and say that one of the things that I liked about Kaiju World Festival was seeing some friends. And David, you'll remember Yusuke Miki-san.
Of course,
who was in the documentary? One of the younger kaiju fans who was at Kaiju Sakaba with us.
I definitely
remember. He was there.
Yes.
I know somewhere in these photos I have pictures of some other people, including Collect All Monsters Monster Collector Gonzo, and also forgetting his name right now, which is really terrible of me, but the guy who played the kid in the Gamora episode of Ultraman.
I can see his face.
He was also there.
Yeah.
And,
Nice.
Wow. And in addition to that, I got to meet some people too. So that, I mean, Kaiju World Festival is when I talked about this earlier with some people, I was like, it's basically like Wonder Festival, but it is nothing but kaiju.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all slowly zoomed in on this, like, just one day, small venue kind of thing. And it's all model kits. It's not Sofubi at all. So there were some really fantastic pieces on display. Wow. I am going to be putting together a video showing off everything.
What a great technique.
And I mean, seriously, like so many people, so many makers were there with stuff for sale. These actually lit up, which were really great.
What's the scale of those, Kyle? Are those Ultra Monsters?
These
are they
guys?
Like 30 or 40 centimeters?
Well, I think 30.
They look
30,
pretty big.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome, pretty big. Yeah, there was not only were there people who make stuff and that stuff was on display. That Busca was huge, by the way. That's a gigantic scale Busca.
Awesome.
Gorgeous piece. There's James Groman's creature at the Acro booth.
Nice.
Yeah, this is super messy. There's Wyndham from
Wyndham.
Acro as well. Zoe Models had a booth, and they had this beautifully painted 84. Oh yeah, it's Uchino-san. That's right. So Shiro Uchino was there, so I got to say hi to him. Then they also had not just people who make kits, but people who built kits and brought them to display. So there was a whole gigantic, like several tables of people showing off the kits that they built.
Gyra is awesome. Wow!
And it's pretty amazing, honestly. Really beautiful stuff. And like, I'm not a fan of Final Wars, but wow, the Manda is probably my favorite monster from the mix. And then let's see here. There were some. This is oh my gosh, I'm doing a terrible job. But there's an artist on Instagram who basically he makes these beautiful photos of model kits. Sometimes he just takes pictures at like a show like Wonder Festival, and then he brings those photos into his photo editing software. I'm guessing Photoshop, but I don't know. And turns them into these beautiful pieces. They had an entire gallery of his work on display.
Love it.
Gorgeous stuff. Monster Maker 28 was there.
Wow.
Kennerjin and this Mechagodzilla and Angulus on display. There's Gango again. There's Gonzo. And this was in Asakusa, so it's like down really close by the it was literally across the street to the east of Sensoji Temple.
My Cube Hotel is not far from here.
Oh yeah, nice. Anyway, I would basically say that if you're going to be in Tokyo during one of these events, it's not a Sofubi show at all. It is definitely model kit heavy. So David, you would have loved it because of the model kits.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, one of the things that I wish I had sort of like prepped for the show is they had, in addition to a gallery of that one artist's digital photo work, they also had a separated sort of space where they had T's Facto kits. And for me, I have seen so many of these kits online just in photos alone. And sure, I've seen some at G-Fest and stuff like that, but it was like nothing I had ever seen before. Every single like T's Facto kit was on display in this space, and it was just phenomenal. And I am going to be getting Jonathan to help me put together a video showcasing this stuff, because I took a ton of video at this event too. So lots of photos, but ton of video. That was Kaiju World Festival, which I think took place May 26th. And the reason I talked about it first is because in chronological order, this was the first event of our event extravaganza right now. And so what I'll be doing, who wants to go first? David, I'm sure you want to talk about Monsterpalooza with Jonathan.
Well, Jonathan and I can kind of do it simultaneously because we have some crossover. But before we start, I just wanted to show you Keith's purchase from Monsterpalooza.
Cool. Nice.
Little M1 Busca in a lovely blue shade. You know,
beautiful,
so cute. And he's not in my collection area. He's in Keith's office. Keith's Fiber Arts craft room. So he's just wanted to show you guys.
Trikes, man. Cool. Trikes are big right now.
They are big, and
there's a couple of people that make them, not just M1. There's like Ichiban Boshi has put out a few trikes, and then the like really really nice ones have been released by Future. That company, and they're not kaiju, but they're like super robots. So there's a Mazinger Z, and I think Koji, the guy who pilots Mazinger Z, has his own trike as well, and they just put out a Getter Robo one as well. I had to like pull back. I'm like, I can't do it. That's too many things. But yeah, so cool to see all the trikes.
Those trikes are great, and I actually emailed Michi to tell her that I'm going to be at Monsterpalooza, and if they were ready to sell, please bring the Alien X, Planet X Citizen trike, because I would love to have one. She goes, sorry, not ready quite yet. Kyle, you'll probably see it before I will, and it's going to be at the summer Wonderfest. It'll be ready by then. And then also the disguised 74 Godzilla, which I'm sure John Ruffin probably really wants. Show Booska's back, David. Okay, I'll show Booska's back. He's got little spots on his back. little purple spots.
Cute. I love it.
Just adorable. And I got a really sweet picture of Michi holding him up. You'll see it in this segment. So always lovely to see them, and they are, and I'm going to say my word, they are the quintessential. When I think of Sofubi, I think of M1. That's where my mind goes. They are the front runners in Sofubi. They have been, they continue to be so. So I love them, and they're awesome. So
they are awesome.
There's
very
that.
Awesome.
All right, so I guess what we can do, Kyle, is just start putting some images up, and Jonathan and I will just kind of comment on what's going on there. So
yeah,
that's probably the easiest way to do.
Are going to be in,
there's no order.
You
can just kind of do it.
Let's go here. Share that screen.
Share that screen. So Jonathan, Keith, and I had a really wonderful time, as we mentioned. Well, there we are in front of the Monsterpalooza, whatever you call that thing in Hollywood, where you stand in front of it.
Nice little
red carpet
photo booth banner.
Photo booth opportunity, and it's just a lot of fun. This show is very special. Oh, that's what I was just talking about. There she is, holding it before she put it in the bag for Keith. It's a very special show because it's a smaller scale show, even though it's getting bigger by the year, and it's manageable, and you can kind of see everything in a day. You have to hustle, but you can see everything in a day. And the reason Keith likes it so much, it's not just focused on Japanese monsters and such. It has to do with old Hollywood monsters, science fiction, pop culture, TV, and they had some amazing guest stars there, which we didn't get to see because we didn't have the time, or we didn't arranged ahead of time. They had Linda Blair from The Exorcist was there.
Awesome.
Tony Todd, Candyman was there.
Wow.
The cast of Hellraiser had a reunion. The original Hellraiser, Doug Bradley, Pinhead. It just to name a few, and just to be walking down the hallways and seeing these iconic, actors. And then they had some of old Hollywood there. They had, I think, we didn't see them, Sarah Karloff, Boris Karloff's daughter. Also, Bela Lugosi Jr., the last of the golden classic age of Universal monsters. But anyway, it's really fun, and slowly but surely more Japanese monsters are infiltrating into Monsterpalooza. So let's see what we got going next.
I remember when I went in like 2013 or something like that, and there was barely any kaiju stuff there.
Yep.
So I'm stoked that there's so much stuff actually like showing up these days.
All right, what else do we got? Let's see. Oh, there's Michi, of course. Jonathan, you feel free to jump into. Oh, there's our good friend Keith Foster, and that's specifically for Kyle. Jonathan, I'll let you take this one.
Well, okay, so this is something I actually forgot to show off on my show and tell, but of course, there I am with Miss Megumi Odaka, the wonderful Miki from the Heisei series, and I got this. This is still the same VHS I've owned since I was a kid. It's one of the only collectibles I've maintained, and surprisingly still in decent condition. But I knew exactly what I wanted her to sign. This is my first time meeting her. She was a pleasure to meet. She was so sweet. We felt kind of bad because she seemed very exhausted from the day, and they were starting to cut off the line. But she was very good with like being there and seeing every single person, taking the time, and just really nice, really sweet. And that's a moment I will truly never forget. Yeah, actually, I have Kwang to thank for that. He took the photo and got us in there. So thank you, Kwang, for that. And it was just a really fun really fun time, and couldn't have asked for a better person to meet.
That's wonderful.
One of the nicest and most hardworking men.
Speaking of nice people
in our fandom, Peter Santa Maria is he's just a peach, man. It's just such a pleasure to see him. He just exudes positivity and warmth and creativity, and getting to spend. We spend a good amount of time with those guys, and we'll get to the Mondo booth a little bit later. But they're just like again, they're family to the show. They're always willing to donate their awesome pieces for our giveaways and such. And there's Peter's photo I took of him standing with his original creature, Takaru, right?
So.
Takuro.
I think it's Takuro.
I think it's Takuro.
Takuro.
Yeah.
Takuro. And he's just, of course, beaming because his artwork has come to life. So,
I mean, really, the Mondo booth was staggeringly great. I mean, they had so much cool stuff.
It was beyond great.
Blown away.
Wow.
This is another one of OCTEEL's creations that was available to purchase at the Monster Patrol table. Again, beautiful, amazing, creative Sofubi piece that sells out usually in minutes at every show that they're at.
Yeah.
So we'll eventually have to get one of these because Keith wants one.
I'm telling you, Monster Patrol toys. If you're ever in Los Angeles and you go to Little Tokyo, go to First Street. They are right there, next to a really prominent ramen shop. One of the first shops you'll see. It's an amazing place, full of Sofubi and crazy collectibles, and it's probably one of the best spots you can go to in downtown. And Nobu and Paul, who run the store and own it, they are amazing, super wonderful awesome individuals, super awesome people. And Nobu was actually at the booth that day. If you go to our Facebook group, I believe it's pinned still, I'm not sure, but there was a video that we put together of kind of like a little cut up of Monsterpalooza. And in there, we kind of show a lot of people, a lot of the tables that were there and some of the things that were highlighted. And this was one of them, the Kaiju Cream. He has one basically at every single show that's on display. And we can't forget Last Bastion Studios, who sculpted it and who brought it to life. It brought OCTEEL. Yep, there he is. There's Chris Hill. Christopher Hill, who brought this wonderful figure to life. Yep. His design, OCTEEL's design to life, and they're a great partner. Wonderful human beings with him and Seth. So great guys, great team, and yeah, it just Monsterpalooza to me is one of those shows that's it's a more intimate version of like Comic-Con. It's really just very nice and pleasant. There's it can be very busy and crowded, but everyone there is so it's not by any means a corporate event. It does not pull itself off like that. It's a very intimate, very creative, artist-centric show. And you like David said, you'll see guys walking around, like, you'll see your celebrity friends and all the people that just kind of casually walk around and look at stuff. So great event, great people, great artists.
It's really special. And like Jonathan said, it is Los Angeles. So I don't know if you guys ever watched that show Face Off. They do all the makeup competition and the masks, etc. All of the stars who are in that, V. Neal, who's a Academy Award winning makeup artist, she's there walking around, and it's just great. And there's some Last Bastion stuff, really fun. Jonathan, you didn't get to see them. You had to leave before.
I know.
We got over there, but
ironically, for the 84-85 stream that we had later on that afternoon.
Oh, that's true. That's right. You had a good reason to leave a little early. And of course, one of Seismic Toys showed its frilly head at Monsterpalooza, which is pretty cool. I just wanted to show that to those guys.
Cool colorway, yeah.
Hey, Kyle, what a coincidence. We were looking at the same time.
Right?
Wow.
And
Speaking of back row,
believe me, I was like, can I get this now? And he's like, no, sorry.
Yeah.
Like, because look at that piece. I mean, look at the detail on that. And I don't think any of that will be lost when it gets translated into a figure, because those are some deep cuts in that figure.
Yeah.
And it's just,
incredible.
I would love to see that rendition of Gyango in a film, like maybe Shin Ultraman 2 or something like that.
That'd be amazing.
Oh yeah,
that's what I said about the Bemular too. Like, whoa, man, I wish that was in Shin Ultraman.
Yeah.
Well, interestingly enough, Gyango is from the Bemular suit, so it's like,
that's true. That's right.
We're getting it either way. So, so of course, here's the dream team, Peter and Hector, and they gifted that awesome figure to Yuji, who looks pretty stoked to me.
That's fantastic.
And that's right in front of the M1 table. And I think I got to mention this, when Kyle and I were there with Keith in 2014, whatever, I can't remember what year that was. We couldn't even barely get near the M1 table. It was so busy. This year it was busy and it kind of came in ebbs and flows, so we were able to get there with like not a gazillion people there. So it was nice to be able to like step up to it and see what's actually on the table. And they did bring a lot of stock, so there was quite a few things left. But anyway, Peter was gave that to Yuji, and of course this. Jonathan, why don't you talk about this for a little bit because I've been talking too much.
So okay, a great little through line of this whole story is that at G-Fest last year, a bunch of us went to dinner and we were walking back, and I was walking with OCTEEL and we were just talking about stuff, and we were talking about the Kaiju cream design and everything. And he was showing me some of the art from his page, and one of them was this. It was the Godzilla saucer, and I was like, dude, this is incredible. Like this should totally be a figure. Lo and behold, a year later and some change, and here we have, or actually before a year, but still, we have the Godzilla saucer, courtesy of Mondo and it's a Mondo OCTEEL mashup. So he designed it. He designed it, and then they sculpted it and painted it and whatnot. It's just beautiful. They had 2 variants there. That's the green one, and then I believe Kyle earlier showed the red one with the blue highlights. I mean, just beautiful work. I love that whole idea. It's just amazing. I want to see more of this stuff out there.
It's a great idea because, like Kyle was saying, it's capitalizing on the craze of the trikes and the motorcycles and the cars and the vehicles. And the funny thing about this, when you see this, me too, Keith. We'll get one. Don't worry. The funny thing is, when we saw this in person, we should have had a picture of someone holding it. It's actually quite big, right, Jonathan? It's not small. It's bigger than a trike. It's pretty.
No, it's beefy.
It's substantial.
I thought it was going to be kind of like this size.
No,
it's
like trike size.
It's like this size.
It's a good size.
It's big. Yeah.
So and then Kyle was just talking about the spiral piece. It's like, well, here you go, another to add to your Kaiju Daisenso, collection, and we'll make sure that you get one. If they come to the States first, we'll make sure that there's one with your name on it. So.
That I appreciate that because I know that they can't sell to Japan.
Well, I got
Play
you.
Play that
back.
womp womp sound for me, Jonathan. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, I got you. I got you.
You mentioned. No, you don't. Yeah, we got your back. Don't worry about it.
You mentioned Nobu earlier, so that.
Oh, there she is. Yep.
Whoa,
lovely. Yep, Keith. Yep, very good.
Yep, there she is with the collectible monster
sticker.
Oh, and there we go.
Oh, well there's a
monster sticker.
A picture of Jonathan with one of his favorite movie items, a creature from one of his favorite movies that he had to rush out of Monsterpalooza for. So I thought it was only fitting that he's holding the giant sea louse in his hand.
Oh, and of course, the Shoculus. Yeah, what's funny is about this is as you can see by my expression on my face, I was totally not wanting to look at the camera. David was like, look at the camera. And I was like, what do you mean look at the camera? I don't want to look at the camera. It was
and look at the result. The result is just amazing.
The result
photo.
Is classic.
It's priceless. And go ahead.
X Plus America was there. Jeremy Souls was there.
Jeremy.
It was they had a nice little setup, and I will say they had the Cybot there. In I don't know if there's a picture of that here, but the Cybot, I will say, seeing it like on other people's page, seeing people have pictures in one does not do it justice because I was like, oh, that's cool. Saw it in person. My goodness, that thing is huge. It's amazingly detailed. It looks really great. It's very proportioned, like very nice.
Yes.
Let's just say,
bang for your buck for sure.
It looks like it does in the movie.
Yes,
and
it does.
Those of us who don't love it, it looks like it does in the movie. Okay.
Exactly.
So, there you go.
Awesome.
So
Perfect.
It is the thing. So, but it was nice to see Jeremy represent X Plus USA. It was a very small but a very classy setup.
Yes.
And there is the new release that was just announced a few weeks ago. And it is the old sculpt of the 62 X Plus 25 centimeter 62 with sort of the imperial colors, which is very nostalgic for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And it was interesting to see that in person.
I believe that's a X Plus North America exclusive.
Correct. It is.
Yeah.
That's one of their first figures that they're coming out with.
It is.
It's really cool.
And there's the foot of the Cybot. See, I think it's right there.
Yes.
He's creeping his way into the photo. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever.
I love that Cybot.
I know you do.
Bounce it around here, but let's go to this one.
I worship at the feet of the Cybot.
Okay. So this is what I was talking about we had just gotten in there. We were in there for like 10 minutes, and we turned around, and Wakasa-san was right there, and I'm like, "Konnichiwa, hello," And we're like, "Look at this. This is why we love Monsterpalooza so much." And I didn't even know he was going to show up. We're going to be there. And it's like he was just in his element. He,
Wakasa loves Monsterpalooza.
Loves Monster. Yeah, I should have known he was going to go because he loves to go to this particular event.
I think he goes. I think he tries to go every show.
Yeah. And he has relationships with Rick Baker and some of the special effects masters in Hollywood. So I know he gets to hook up with them at some point during the weekend. So that's really cool.
On Twitter, he shares a lot of the photos. You see him on his way to Monsterpalooza and things like that. He shares a lot of those experiences.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a very happy moment. This is Hector presenting a gift to Megumi Odaka, the beautiful cherry blossom Violante figure, and it's just great to see. This is what it's all about right here.
Indeed.
I think.
Ooh.
Okay, and there's me with my favorite Universal monster. Of course, it's another variant that I want, but I pre-ordered the first version. It's the die cut green version, not the black and white version. But I think I might have to get that too, or decide which one I want.
You're gonna have to, David, because when I saw it and I gave it to you to hold, you were like,
amazing. I mean, look at you can't see the smile on my face, but it's there. But believe me, it's behind there. But
we can see it in your eyes, David. In your eyes, the eyes tell.
It in my eyes. and this is what I mentioned before that I have to sort of work up to building. This is the very first rendition of the representation of Revenge of the Creature from the trilogy, the Creature from the Black Lagoon trilogy, and this is the first time I've ever seen this represented in any form. And it looks fantastic, and it was proudly on display at the X Plus USA table.
Awesome.
So good.
We
Just everything about the show. There's a lot of creature representations there, by the way. It
was very big on the creature.
Very big on creature.
I mean, how cool is that? I mean, this guy was really
the Death Jaguar design.
Yeah,
it's a cool version of the variation, I guess I'd say, on the original.
Imagine if he looked like that. It would be. Sell me the human vapor to make room for it. Okay, Robert, nice try.
Robert getting spicy. All right, Robert.
Oh, I love Robert's wire so much. Anyway, only $100 too. I mean, it's a great price. Okay, now this is something that Keith and I were really seriously considering picking up, and we still may get it at some point if it's still available at Monster Patrol Toys. This is something that Nobu brought, and it was on display. I mean, how cute is this? It's a kappa and a freaking cucumber.
It's amazing.
Mobile. I mean, this is the epitome of whimsical right here. But it's just awesome, and I love stuff like that. So
Leslie, that's a first buy one for Leslie right there. That's a Leslie one if I've ever seen one.
What, that one?
Right now.
Oh, I would just love to hear his response to that.
I was waiting for a comment.
All right.
I think one of the things that I love about seeing not just Monsterpalooza, but a lot of these toy shows is that yokai are getting way more representation these days.
Finally,
so the Kappa car is as a prime example of that. Not just a Kappa, but a Kappa in a vehicle,
in a cucumber,
like with this, with the in the cucumber vehicle, like we're seeing with all these other kaiju properties. It's really great.
It's very clever, and for those who know yokai, that the Kappa loves to eat cucumbers. That's his favorite food. So it's just a perfect thing. So we can go a little faster. I know we're taking.
I think I got through all the pictures that I grabbed.
Did you get through all the pictures? Well, there you have it.
There you go.
Let me just we can just say our final words. Monsterpalooza is really fun. It's close to our house now, so we don't have to get on a plane to go to it. It's great to see so many awesome people that I hadn't seen in a long time. Like Keith Foster. I got to see Paul Komoda. I've met Burley Vang in person for the first time, which was really great. Cool. I met just so many awesome people, and Lenny Romero, his art was there. It just a lot of fun. And Kyle, I did actually see Manga had so much. Yeah, totally. I did get to see another Arco remix. It was Paul Komoda's Zeton too, which was freaking amazing.
Wow.
Really cool.
Yes.
It wasn't at the Arco table. It was someone else had it. So it was pretty damn cool. Jonathan, you want to sum it up?
Yeah, I mean, it was an amazing show. It's always, like I said, very intimate, fun gathering, and it's good to see people. I met Burley for the first time as well, and it's just cool to see people that you know in the groups, and then you see them in person, and it's just like-minded individuals that really just enjoy, no judgments, just enjoy these things together. That's what they're there for. Son of Monsterpalooza is coming up, I believe, in the fall. So look for that one, because that's another show that's not as big as Monsterpalooza, but it still captures the essence of Monsterpalooza, and it's a lot smaller show. I think that one's probably going to be in Burbank this time. Okay. I prefer Pasadena. I prefer the Pasadena Convention Center, but it'll
Burbank
probably be
is where they had the original Monsterpalooza, and they got too big for that location. So yeah, that's why they have Son of there.
And one last thing I will say, because I was waiting for it. Leslie will not be buying that. He'd rather buy a submarine with a screen door. So that shows you how much he wants that.
Leslie loves Sofubi. That's the one thing I've learned about Leslie.
Loves Sofubi.
Favorite thing in the world.
Yep.
He likes it as much as I like the Monsterverse. So there you have it. He is
sitting here and he is like ultra stinky right now.
Yeah. What's up, Ultimate? Yeah.
He does not approve. No,
he don't approve.
No. He's probably doing this right now. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for that.
Of course.
That festival report. I think the very same weekend, John Ruffin here was able to go to another event.
I want to hear about this.
The images already queued up, my friend. So let me know when you're ready to go.
I'm ready to go anytime. Well, it's nice to see that there's balance on the two coasts. You know, two great, cons going on, shows going on at the same time. What I love about Kaiju Brooklyn is many things. What we have on the West Coast, on the East Coast, is not, sometimes the scale isn't like what's on the West Coast, but they're very intimate, and the shows and the cons, are really cool. And what I love about Kaiju Brooklyn is the location and the closeness it brings us all together, and it's like distilled. I don't really care for shows where you have a lot of guests. There's some shows we have where it's just rows. You just wait in line all day to see your favorite actor or actress, et cetera, et cetera. I'm really into the vendors, and we have some shows that are just focused on just the vendors. And what I love about Kaiju Brooklyn, it gives me everything that I like. And the location is a plus too. John Bellotti Jr. of Robo7 is doing just a fantastic job with his show. And it felt like it was a year since the first, but it was only about 6 months.
That's right. It was the fall last year.
Yeah. So it was great to go up, and it's in a place called Industry City in Brooklyn, right near the river. And I love it because I love going to New York and going up. We do our shopping for tours through Jersey up into New York and back. And so going there is a wonderful location. A lot of buildings just in a row with various shops. So it's right in a little Japan town land kind of Brooklyn location. Is just wonderful to go to. And it's distilled. It's like Godzilla Ultraman haven. You go in, the vendors are spectacular, are great. Everything is just right at your fingertips in a great location, good food and all those things. But let me just talk about Kaiju Brooklyn and just, I guess, John's vision, bringing together the best of the fandom to celebrate all the things Kaiju in a fun and unique environment, and it is. And he also, the other thing about Kaiju Brooklyn is said is the backbone of the Kaiju fandom has always been the Japanese toy. So you got plenty of that right there at your fingertips. And what's really wonderful is the Kaiju art that we don't get enough of. It's prominently featured, and one of the items a couple items I was proud to come away with. I'll share at the end of my little segment. Ultraman is everywhere. Ultraman is so beautifully represented, and as we've seen in Robo7's incredible T-shirt art and detailed work from Godzilla to now Ultraman officially licensed merchandise, so you're greeted by that. And then there's incredible panels. There was a viewing of Godzilla 84. There's VIP pre-parties, after parties, kickoff parties. There's a kaiju bar with kaiju related drinks, all kinds of really cool stuff. That's the venue. That's one of the many alley walkthroughs between each building. It's loaded with great shops. There's so much to see in addition to going to Kaiju Brooklyn. It's right nestled right in the midst of it all. So you have great foot traffic. There's I think that's Jeff Zorno doing his panel on Kaiju on Art of Drawing Godzilla. Zorno's leading that one. And right beside that, I mean literally right next to it is a book off. Or
cool.
with
nice.
all just full of just Japanese toys, anime, and Kaiju Godzilla. Just great shop to go. And there's Japanese restaurants, as you can see, the little bridge. It's just there's a Daiso to the left of that. So it's a wonderful, wonderful venue for collectors, friends, families. That's somewhere you could go every weekend. And the parking across the street is $5.
Great shot.
It's great. Yeah, I didn't get to the viewing of 84. It takes me a couple hours to get to New York, and particularly Brooklyn from Philadelphia, because once you get into the city, you still have another 40 minutes or so to get to Brooklyn.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. So, but with that said, it's something for everyone. Great panels. Let's give you some examples. There was Ultraman panels, Art of Drawing Godzilla, Kaiju Retailer Summit, from -1 to Monsterverse, Kaiju Toy Collecting, a 70 Years of Godzilla panel. Then there's plenty of cosplay as well. As you can see out in the venue, it's a Friday and a Saturday. So I'm looking forward to the next one. I only can make it on Saturday, and I was with my friends, my good friends. We had a blast. We had other things to do, but I met a couple friends I hadn't seen, only online and on a show that I had done some while ago. A fellow collector was there. It's just a great place to run into each other unexpectedly. And Mark's Comics, I always get your name wrong. Yeah, Mark's Comics, they're right beside the space for Kaiju Brooklyn. And
St. Mark's Comics, right?
St. Mark's Comics, thank you, because they used to be right there,
They used to be
around the corner from Toy Tokyo. Yes. That's where okay.
Yeah, they were on St. Mark's Place, right across from on 2nd and 3rd Avenue.
Yeah, that's where you real.
I used to walk out my door, John, and see St. Mark's Comics.
And St. Mark, and we would get out. You were right there. Okay.
Right there.
Because after we did this, we went into Manhattan and we went to Toy Tokyo, and
How is that these days? Is that any good these days? Because last time I was a little disappointed.
They're building up their Sofubi section.
Okay, good.
But non-Godzilla. They have a nice. Their Godzilla section's not like it used to be, but they've got a lot of Kamen Rider stuff.
Okay.
A lot of Sofubi. They're building back up a little bit.
Okay, good. All right.
I still want them to get back to what their glory days, but it's going to take a little work. Because
this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. Their glory days.
That's my thing right there. Let's go.
Their glory days, you used to go to Toy Tokyo, and the toys would be hanging from the ceiling, the Sofubi bag with header cards. It's like, whoa, what's going on? And I got most of my toy graphs from Toy Tokyo at a reasonable price. So there you have it.
And that's what I love about Kaiju Brooklyn. It fits in beautifully with our trek through Jersey and New York. We get House of Fun, play with this in Jersey. Then we got AAA Hobby. Then we jump on the Turnpike and Kaiju Brooklyn. And then after that, we jump into New York to Toy Tokyo, Forbidden Planet. Then we hit Mitsuwa last, get our grub. And then around 8 o'clock, we on the Turnpike back home. Then we do that. And so having Kaiju Brooklyn's and they have great vendors. The Vampire Robots was there, Seismic Toys, and Chris. It was just really great vendors, really great stuff. I wish I could have spent, but I did get some really, really something. I love his work. Nick Sheave, was there with his incredible. Awesome. And I got a couple pieces, and I really would love to get some of his original. He had some of his original art. But let me show you a couple. This I had to have. It's just his detail.
Did you get his -1?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, that's it. That's what. Yeah,
absolutely. I'm going to get this framed and proudly on the wall somewhere on one of my little space
Jeez
was my
Louise,
wall.
that's
Just
stunning.
absolutely
Stunning.
And we just talked for a little while, and he just went through the process. And this other one, I could have bought more. This is just, I love his 54. I mean, you can just see the radiation and just kind of jumping off of the.
Is that Nick also?
Yeah. Yes.
Wow, that's a very different style than the other. That's great.
There's so much in that space that going on. You could go in with $1,000 and come out with nothing. The sofa bee and all. I mean, really, you can go in.
That I believe.
And it's about 20, a little over 20 vendors, and you go in and come out broke. It's really, really cool. You can do some damage. With that said, I'm looking forward to the next one. And John's doing it. My friend got one of John's -1 shirts while I was there. It was just, you can see some of the vendors here with great -1, SH minus Monster Arts stuff. Everything, something different at every table. I wish I had more. I'm using some of John's photos just to represent some of the vendors. Here we are. We made our journey up there. My friend John, my friend Eric, I grew up with since I was 4. It's like brother from another mother. And there's St. Mark's Comics right next to Kaiju Brooklyn setup. And that poster, Godzilla in the right corner there, I got that. I wasn't going to leave that in the window. So I got that. With that said, that last photo you showed there, my friend John, that we worked together, back 20 years ago, just been good friends. His relative came down from Vermont when he heard that we were going to be there. 5-hour drive, and they're Ukrainian, and so we walked over. We went over to a little Ukrainian town in Manhattan, not far, right around the corner from Toy Tokyo, and they went to the church where their relatives went back, like before World War I. So very interesting story. And so they got a little family history in, and then we walked around and went to Toy Tokyo after that. So it was a great day.
So John, is that church on 4th Avenue by any chance?
I think it is.
You know what? You know what used to be around the corner from that? Footlight Records.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Where the Godzilla CDs.
Yes, I got my brother got me. Yep. My brother Mark got me to buy a lot.
Long gone.
Yeah, long gone.
I remember that church. Like right around the corner. It was Footlight Records.
You're right. Yes.
Bringing it all back. Bringing it all back.
Yeah. So if you're on the on the East Coast, and it's time for Kaiju Brooklyn, another, you want to definitely check it out.
I would love to go.
It's a lot of fun and good food and good folk. You have a blast, and then you still have New York. Go have a blast. Yeah.
I'm so happy for John Bellotti Jr. too.
Yeah.
He deserves He worked so hard on this, and he's been really, really, trying to make this a success, and it looks to me like it was more than a success. So, bravo to him.
Absolutely.
And everybody who helped to make it a reality.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. It's a great community. You can just see the community that's in New York too, from the Godzilla collecting community, and great cosplay too. It's really cool. It's just going to grow over as the years go on.
Matthew Bazell just wrote, did you eat at Veselka, the Ukrainian restaurant that Keith and I ate at when we were in New York, and also in the East Village? Great Ukrainian diner that has the most amazing pierogies and stuffed cabbage and all that stuff. So
awesome. Next time we go up there, we got to do that. Next time his relative comes down, because we didn't have enough time. He had to get his 5-hour drive back to Vermont.
Got it.
Yeah, but yeah, that's really cool. Back to you, Colin.
Coverage, John. Thank you very much. And so those are our 3 big ones. Those are the 3 that we all went to. But just really, really quickly, just because this is sort of what we're illustrating here, is that there's just so many cool events happening, so many cool things that have gone on. I'm just going to very quickly share some photos from 5 Point Fest. Hopefully, Lou. I grabbed some of her photos from Instagram, and also Anzu Monoka's images here from 5 Point Fest. I got to get to the right thing here, but yeah, it's
Wow.
another East Coast show. Looks like it was really great. Beautiful Sofubi, less Godzilla related, but Eiji Kaminaga from Maro-san was there with his beautiful wares, including this awesome stamp thing that he's doing. So cool.
It is.
And yeah, so Lou went, and I was hoping to get her on the show, but unfortunately her schedule did not match up with today. I would highly suggest checking that out too if you're ever able to go. Like
Absolutely.
I said, I missed on Design Festa last month here in Japan. And then in addition to that, literally yesterday, not a toy event, but there's a okay, who here has seen Zerum? Right? So the tokusatsu film directed and sort of created by Keita Amemiya, who also did a number of other tokusatsu films. I'm a huge fan of this guy's work. He had a gallery showing here.
Oh man!
Oh wow!
Here in Japan,
Wow.
And I jumped at the chance to go see it. Now I interviewed Amemiya for the Kaijucast several years ago when he was a guest at Monsterpalooza, and I really am a massive fan of this guy's work. So I picked up his book, which is right here as well, which is filled with images of what was at his event. And now there were no photos allowed in the gallery itself,
look at
so I
those
grabbed
pieces.
a bunch of these from Twitter. But yeah, some of these pieces are just like prop replicas, and some of them are like others, like aspects of his films. But holy moly, what an incredible showing of artwork he had going on here at his event. These were books of his character designs and his sketches, and like literally really like unbelievable to see all this stuff in person.
That's incredible.
Like having it in a book is great, and I love having it in a book, but being able to see the paint on the canvas is just absolutely crazy. So Amemiya's work is like just incredible.
Whoa.
And these are from Twitter, and it was an absolutely
Insane.
stacked event. Like I'm not used to so much artwork being on display.
Wow.
And I'm just stoked that was there. So I wanted to talk about that real quick, and now we'll get off that soapbox because we have to move along to our next segment, which let's just go ahead. Actually, we're going to do a giveaway, and what we should do is we should show off the giveaway, Jonathan. So I'll give you the big square here. And while we do that, let me just say that what we want you to do, if you want to win this, where is my screen here? The hashtag you want to put in here is give me, all one word, vinyl. There it is.
That doesn't give it away.
Right there. So give me vinyl is going to be the actual hashtag that you want to put into the comments if you're watching live to potentially win this. And we'll while Jonathan shows this off, we'll go into the collector moment. And that's when we're bringing on our special guest, Donny. And we'll collect those comments during that time. And then afterwards, we'll do the pick of the winner. So take it away, Jonathan, quickly.
All right. Thank you, Kyle. So in short, a long while ago, I had gotten this vinyl, right? And I was super excited to have it. But then, as fate would have it, my twin brother, who David was talking about earlier, got me the same thing for it was a late birthday gift, but I was like, oh man, you're killing me. Cause he's like, I can't buy anything for you. He's like, I can't spend money on you. Cause you always like have everything already. So it's like, he's like trying to buy for you is like, it's like a crapshoot. But anyway, so what are what we are giving away today is none other than the Godzilla versus King Ghidorah vinyl from Mondo, art by Greg Ruth. This is beautiful artwork. It's like a chalk sort of like mural painting style, like on it, like a mosaic or something. I just love this thing. Now, it is open because I had to open it and make sure that it was the right type of vinyl. So basically, in short, both versions that I got, I just want to preface this. It is the eco-friendly vinyl, so the green vinyl. They had run out of the King Ghidorah lightning vinyl color or vinyl design. So this will be the eco-friendly, but it's still the same score, still the same soundtrack. And this could be yours.
What a great soundtrack.
Give me vinyl hashtag.
This is something real quick that when Leslie posted that thing on that question on in our group about which era has to go, one of the things I said about Heisei needing to stay is the fact that Ifukube returned to the series. And you say what you will about Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, this soundtrack is amazing.
Oh, it's awesome.
It is an amazing soundtrack, and it has what we were talking about in the last episode, a sped up version of the march from War of the Gargantuas. So I don't know the name of the piece in this particular film, but it is that piece, and it's great.
Well,
and I love it, and that's fantastic.
Fun fact about this score. Like David said, he brings back a lot of his classic cues. It's very much a Showa style score. Now, the track you're thinking of, actually, so the one he reuses in this one is the Destroy All Monsters March from Destroy All Monsters.
I was mistaken. So my bad.
But it's okay. But the one you're talking about is actually in the sequel, the next entry, which is the Godzilla versus Mothra film.
Okay.
They play the Mesa March, I think it's called. But yeah,
I'm not sure the name of it, but cool. Either way, it's still a great soundtrack, and we psyched you out. You thought you were getting a Sofubi because you said vinyl. It's not. It's a record.
All right. So while those comments of hashtag Give Me Vinyl come in, let's go ahead and introduce our special guests right after this collector moment intro. Well, hello, Donny. How's it going, man?
Hey, friends. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me on.
It's our pleasure.
Right, I'm going to move David up to the top here because I know David wanted to say a few words before you get going.
Yeah, I do. First of all, thanks everybody for sticking around. It's the end of the show, but this is a really cool segment that, save the best for last, that kind of thing, But June is Pride Month in the United States, and I just thought that since we couldn't get together, I couldn't get myself together enough to do another awesome panel like we did last year. We didn't want this month to go by without at least acknowledging the month of Pride, which is June. And what better way than to have one of the forefront people in our community, who's a pillar of our community, who does an amazing show himself called Growing Up with Godzilla, that I was fortunate enough to be on last fall when I was in New Jersey, and I had a blast doing it. Actually, my episode is a two-parter, so whatever, that's pretty cool in itself. Go check it out if you want to learn a little bit about the LGBTQ plus, I can't even say it, spin on my collecting journey, and it's really interesting. And of course, Pride Month, hasn't always been in this country. It started in 1999 with Bill Clinton proclaiming that the month of June is Pride Month. And it actually all started in the month of June in 1969 on June 28th with the riots at the Stonewall Inn in the West Village, where finally the members of our community said enough is enough. This has to stop, and we need to be recognized. And anyway, I did get, at least Jonathan will show you a nice montage that he created of some of the awesome LGBTQ plus collectors in our community. And again, I apologize for not doing a panel this year, but a lot of things have been going on here with me, and I couldn't pull myself together to do it. So, but at least we're going to have Donny on to talk about a very special thing that he's been involved with, a special project. So I'm going to just let him take it away. I'd like to introduce Mr. Donny Winter.
Thank you, everyone. Oh, the applause. I love it. Thank you, everyone, for having me here. I am honored to be welcomed into this space. And David, like, you know, whenever you and I get together to have a conversation, that's why our episode was a 2-part episode, because we love to talk.
Yes, we do.
So yeah, like, so growing up with Godzilla, I'm going to talk a little bit about that first. So for those of you who have not watched it yet, I did not anticipate that it would go beyond one season, but it's already halfway through season 3, because people do have a craving to hear Godzilla fans' experiences and their histories with regard to how they've grown with the character and franchise over the years, and kind of tying that in with Pride Month and the significance of that celebration of a community's history. Like, I feel like we should carve spaces like that in fandoms, because we all have a very unique entry point into becoming Godzilla fans. We all have this unique perspective. Individually, we take something interesting away from the films and characters that other people may not even think of, which I think helps us develop a stronger understanding and love of the character.
Well said.
Thank you. So if you've not watched it yet, shameless self-promotion, and go check that out. But the really cool thing that I got a chance to do, oh, there's my channel. Thank you. I actually have 2 podcasts, Researching the Tapestry and Growing Up with Godzilla. But if you are the resident Godzilla nerd, you'll probably want to check out Growing Up with Godzilla. But the oh, thank you, Helmi. So I did want to talk a little bit about a really fascinating project that I recently got involved in. Do you want me to talk about that next? Go ahead.
Of course. Yes, absolutely.
All
this
right.
is your time.
So, I had the honor of writing for an official Godzilla project, a comic book. I got to write on a story in the Godzilla 70th anniversary IDW anthology, which
That's amazing.
I was a teenager who used to draw my cringy own comics and write them as well. So going from that 20 years later to like being able to hold this in my hands, it's kind of wild. So
it's full circle, right, buddy? Full circle.
It is a full circle. I literally started my writing career like writing Godzilla fan fiction, and I tell people this all the time, that fan fiction has its own relevance and space, and while people think of it as cringy, it's so important, right? But my good friend Matt Frank, who wrote the actual story, asked me to write some poetry to represent and develop a particular character that's in the story. Our story's title is In the Shadow of a God, by the way. I don't think I've mentioned that yet, but no, it's a very experimental story, I would say, and I think that if you look through this entire anthology, there's 9 stories, and each of them are very experimental in their own way. And I think, if anything, over the past few years, we've seen that the Godzilla franchise, Godzilla as a character itself, is extremely versatile. And this comic definitely embodies that versatility. Whether you want something zany and fun, or something dark and brooding, reaching back all the way to Godzilla's roots, you'll probably find something in this that very much appeals to you.
Excellent.
Yeah, the cover art on this one is by E.J. Sue. I do have a couple more I'll show off too, a couple more
Please
variants.
I love that cover.
This is a foil cover by Adam Gorham, which is one of my favorites because it's so cool. And then I do have one that was also illustrated by Matt Frank, which is lenticular. It is this one.
Oh man,
Whoa, that's awesome.
So
that's trippy.
cool.
Trippy.
It is so cool. Like, if I look at it too long, it kind of hurts my eyes. But I think Mothra is particularly cute on it. Particularly cute. So, Melanie just picked one up. Yay! I'm glad that you got it. Good.
So, if I forget to ask you, I'm going to ask you now. Please, at the end, tell us where we can get one and how to get one.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you now. You can get them through IDW Publishing's website. If you reach out to either Matt Frank or I, you can also get signed copies from us as well. And I think that we might be signing together at G-Fest. possibly. Like, there is sparks
Ooh.
in the ether that might lead to that. So,
Well, Donnie, I'm just going to put this into the universe. Wouldn't it be a cool idea, maybe, to have a giveaway with a Matt Frank, Donny Winter signed copy for Collect All Monsters in the future? I don't know.
I would love
That
that.
might be pretty cool. Not to
That
put you on the spot or
sounds
anything,
Absolutely.
but
No,
you know,
I would be up for that. I would be up for that.
I think that would be so cool, and we could talk about that
Wow.
later. But that's awesome, so good.
And if anybody ever wants a direct copy from me, I'm just message me. Like, I am pretty responsive and interactive, so I'll happily work something out with you. But no, like I really think that IDW put in a lot of love in this, and so did all the writers, illustrators, and everything. Also,
There we go. There's the link right there. Perfect.
So yeah. So I guess in conclusion, if you are one of those people who maybe you're an artist, you're a writer, you have some sort of engagement creatively with this material, and if you feel like something like this would never happen to you, don't tell yourself that, because I used to tell myself that, and then bam, here I am writing for something on this scale, and I never imagined that I would get to do that. I'm actually a poet by vocation, so that's my primary area of expertise as a writer, and as poets, we kind of are partitioned in like individual poems that get published, or collections of poems, or being in an anthology. Getting a chance to write poetry in a comic, who would have thought of that? Well, Matt Frank obviously thought of that, or else it wouldn't have happened. So
That's awesome, and I think you're going to grace us with an excerpt from one of your poems, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
would love to do that. So I wrote a series of 8 tanka poems. It is a Japanese style of poetry that is 5 lines in length. It's a little bit longer than a haiku, but kind of has like similar stylings to it. And it's from the perspective of the character that is in the story. So I'm going to just read a couple small segments here. I saw its lightning burst against the churning sky and balked at each clap as the metal birds rained down a cacophony of cries. I saw the torment in its sullen eyes, heavy, weighed down by memory. I longed to hear its story, if only to pause the rage.
Whoa, that's amazing.
Thank
And that's
you.
a talent, because writing poetry
Wow.
is a talent, and not everybody does it successfully. But that was quite beautiful.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Wow, that was great. And I think you've wet the whistle of a lot of people who maybe didn't understand what this was all about, and it's a very different thing. And Donnie is being very humble, because this podcast he's interviewed so many people and across our fandom. I mean, Christine, one of our co-hosts, was actually on there, and I'm sure he's going to get to these guys at some point too.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just an amazing experience, and it's very professional, and it brings up stuff that we as Godzilla fans, it shows how much we have in common instead of our differences. And it's interesting, if you watch the different segments of the different people, you'll see that our journey in this fandom is very similar. A lot of us started off with dinosaurs, and that was our gateway to Godzilla, and it's just really refreshing to see that we're not alone in this, because I know there's been points in all of our journeys when we were younger and we thought we were the only ones who liked this stuff, and to hear to get this to come out of us in a live stream podcast situation is just really, really amazing. So thank you.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you. It's kind of wild, because at a certain point I was always bugging people to like, hey, do you want to be a guest? And now I'm at this point where I have people reaching out to me wanting to be a guest, and I'm like, okay. So that must mean something is going well.
You're there. So that's, is there anything else you'd like to mention before?
All I would like to mention is your story matters as a Godzilla fan, and the way that you enter the fandom, the way that you celebrate the series, the characters, like all of that matters. And I would always encourage you to share that story, because someone out there might connect with that, and you might find that you might make some pretty cool friends as a result.
And it's important what you're doing. Well said. Important what you're doing, because representation is everything, and that's why we do this. We do it for Women's Month, we do it for Black History Month, and we're doing it for Pride Month. So this world has so many, negative aspects to it, but if we can all come together and celebrate this fandom, which doesn't happen enough, emphasize these specific months of diversity. I think that's always a good thing. And again, we did not want to let this month go by without mentioning it on our show. And Kyle was like, please do something, and I'm like, I want to do something, I just haven't got it together yet. But we pulled it together, and we got Donny to talk to us, and I think it's really important. And before I let Donny go, and before this segment is over, before Jonathan gets to his awesome pictures, I want to showcase John Bellotti Jr.'s beautiful t-shirt design, his Baragon t-shirt design. Love is love. A lot of people have been asking about where they can get this, and he's going to do a small run of them. Just contact me, and I'll set you up with him personally, and he can make the shirts for you. So I have 2 images there. I don't know if you have them, Kyle. If not, we can just do it in the group later. But yeah, so this is the shirt that I post this every year, and I think it's amazing. It's of course the rainbow spewing kaiju Barugon from Gamera versus Barugon, and the text says "Love is love," and it's just kind of a no-brainer. And a lot of people were asking where can they get this, and it wasn't available for a while, but now, yeah, there's Keith and I sporting ours, and I know at least 5 or 6 people asked if they could still get one, and this is why I'm doing this, so you can still get these for next year or whenever you want to wear it. So just contact me, and I will set you up with John's email and all that stuff. So that's it. Thank you so much, Donny. Thank you for being here. You might want to just stick around with us, I guess, if you'd like.
I'll stick around. Why not?
And then, Jonathan, I think you've got some stuff you're going to show us too, right?
Yeah, so basically, this segment is normally, at the collector moment, normally we showcase the best posts that are in the group from our members every month, or from the past month. But this one was a little different. We wanted to make it a little more special, a little more meaningful. We wanted to showcase, our love for Pride Month and our support. And so this one's going to be a little different. This one is going to be showcasing some of our collector friends, our members who represent the community. And so I believe, Kyle, unless you want to play it, I can get it rolling.
I got it.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Great presentation.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Happy Pride Month, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Happy
thank you
That was
very much,
beautiful.
David. Thank you very much, Donny, and of course Jonathan too, for putting that together. It's great to. It is great to celebrate this. As far as I'm concerned, when we started this show, I said from the beginning, representation is a huge thing for me. I want to make sure that we're doing our part to give a platform to groups that really do deserve to have more of a voice these days. And that is not about me. That is about the people that we help represent. And so I just thank you very much for doing this. I'm always happy to get these special supplemental streams, and especially segments going on, and special guests, of course. So Donny, thank you so much for joining us for that. We are going to jump back into the regular stuff right now. which is, let me just do this. That is the StreamYard giveaway tool. If you entered into the contest here, Give Me Vinyl was the hashtag, and let me go ahead and pop up the giveaway tool, and we'll
Good luck, everybody.
get this going on. Where if I can find the window that is in, there it is. We'll start collecting the comments. We got 19 entries, and Jonathan, you want to get the drum roll ready?
I got it ready.
Draw those winners. Hey,
Awesome.
congratulations, man. Thank you so much for being part of the giveaway. And if you want to, Jonathan, I think will be sending this out. So if you wanted to message him or me, we'll just make sure that you get that as your prize as soon as possible. Thank you very much, man. And don't forget, we do these giveaways pretty much every episode. So we always have something on deck to give away, something cool to show off, and that's what we do around here in the Collect All Monsters. Let's see. I think we just clocked in just over 2 hours for this episode. I don't think we have too much going on in terms of what's left to talk about. I know that we are in talks of another garage sale, Monster Collector garage sale happening. So keep an eye on the Facebook group. Let me just go ahead and throw up that URL. If you're not a member of our Facebook group, the Collect All Monsters Monster Collectors, we are a pretty rad, if I say so myself, pretty rad group where we have a lot of positivity towards collecting giant monsters and other monsters as well. We're not super duper exclusive when it comes to that. Make sure if you join us, just read through and agree to the rules. That will be very helpful to get you in the group.
Please, please read the rules, okay? Read the rules. Read the rules.
Yeah. Otherwise, you just sit there in limbo and waiting to get into the group. What I will do right now is I will say that our next episode, speaking of events, our next episode will be G-Fest weekend, but unfortunately only one of our members will be at G-Fest. Leslie Chambers will be there, but feel free to tune in if you can while you're in the episode, because while you're at the show, because we will have a regular episode streaming, and hopefully we'll be able to bring Leslie in for a quick G-Fest report while we're doing the episode. That will be July 13th at our standard time of 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern. And unless there's anything anybody else has to say, I'll just roll into our outro. Okay. So, until next time, monster collectors, our planet may be doomed, our Earth devastated, the monsters are in revolt, and civilization is in
those
chaos.
words in revolt.
We must unite and collect.
Oh,
monsters. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.